Hey y'all, welcome back to Cooking Ain't Quiet. I am the great Tiana, aka Chef Don T. Today we're going to be doing Sunday dinner. We talked a little bit last week about some Thanksgiving dishes and whatnot, and how I wanted to bring that to the forefront. So the easiest way to do that is to show y'all how I prepare Sunday dinner. Now I know y'all see this in the bag. I know y'all see it. So this is what I'm working on right now to give y'all some really good gems. 2022 is up. It's up. And it's stuck, okay? So today we're gonna have some collard greens, some cornbread. We're gonna do some baked chicken. We're gonna do some yams, a little rice, but y'all see that. So to get started, we're gonna go ahead and start with the chicken. I've already washed it. Today we're gonna have some organic legs, y'all. Organic because they was BOGO at Publix. So you just clean them up really good. You could do the lemon, some people do lime, you could do a little vinegar. However you want to clean your chicken is how you clean your chicken. And we're gonna go in with some Don T's chicken seasoning. This is lightly salted, so you will always have to add some type of salt component to it when you're seasoning your meat. I eyeball. So for y'all, I'm gonna bring out a measuring something to try to help, cause I don't know, I just cook. This is 1 tablespoon, so let's see. Oh, can you see the seasoning? I'm not gonna tell y'all what's in it. All I can say is when it's available, y'all should buy it. But that's 1 tablespoon, so let's do 2. Maybe 3. All right, 3. Yep, that was it. 3 was the number. Again, Don T's chicken seasoning. Please don't go putting it on ribs or any other type of meat. Strictly poultry, turkey, chicken, Cornish hen, any of those ones with feathers. Do that. I'm gonna grab some gloves. Give me a second. We talk about this every week. Listen, gloves. And to that, because I said it needs some salt in it, we're gonna go in with some seasoning salt. Eyeball. So about 1 tablespoon. And then we're gonna go ahead and go in with some complete seasoning, and I'll measure that for y'all. And that's 1 tablespoon. Let's do a half a tablespoon more. So this will be all we need for our chicken. Now, this is a good way to fry chicken too. You can add a little buttermilk to it. Let that sit to the side for an hour or 2. Or you can bake it. You can add some onions and some bell pepper to this and sit this off to the side as well. And let that marinate until you're ready to cook that on 350 for about 2.5 hours. I know they pick on, us black folks because they say we cook everything on 350. But listen, 350 is a universal number that we like to cook with. And so you really want your chicken to be really seasoned. You see that? Really, really seasoned. And to that, I would say add a little bit of water. So add about 2 tablespoons of water to this so it can create a little sauce. So when it bakes, you don't have dry chicken. And you just season that up, mix it all around, and when you're ready to bake it or you're ready to fry it, it's ready to go. And that way, when it's seasoned and it already has a little juice in it, you can use that and you can make a gravy. Or you can just have some sauce to go with your rice. Because I know some people don't like dry food. And yeah. So once we're done with that, we sit that to the side, put us a little piece of foil on it, and let it marinate. So bear with me as I grab the foil. Some people call me the foil whisperer. Say I tear it off perfectly every time. So next, we're gonna wash our hands. You know how I feel about washing hands. And now we're gonna move on to something that's a little bit more complex, balance between sweetness. You gotta know what you're doing. And that's our yams. Yams is one of the most important things on that Thanksgiving table. I don't care what nobody say, it's very important. And everybody needs to know how to do a basic yam. A lot of people are doing sweet potato casserole now, and that's fine. Like, I don't have an issue with sweet potato casserole. I actually really do love it. But a good sweet potato casserole should start off with a good yam foundation. So what we're doing is peeling this. And you might say, well, you don't have enough yams up there. You ain't have enough chicken. It's only 2 of us in this house. I don't have to cook a big spread for us. So 2 yams would be just enough for 2 to 4 people. And it's all about the way you cut up your food. If you're in a bind, you gotta know how to make your food stretch. So it's about how you cut up your food. So that's one, cleaned. Or peeled nice and clean. And just peel it. Some people like to peel the potatoes and stuff with a knife. I don't trust that. It actually kind of scares me a lot. And again, I'm very hands-on with my food. So you will see that when I get to mixing up the yams. And here's a secret. I don't put butter in my yams. Told you, I try to find ways where I can make things as healthy as possible without sacrificing flavor. And I realized that you don't have to put butter in your yams for them to be good. So we can chop it up the traditional way that people normally do yams. And that's this way, like little circles. I know y'all know what I'm talking about, because you can even find the yam patties inside of Publix, and they're thicker than this, but they're kind of in the same shape. So the traditional way that you would cut up a yam, just the circles. And be careful cutting yams, because as you know, sweet potatoes is really hard. And again, look how much we already have, and this is only 1, and it's only 2 of us in this house. Just cut them up. Look at that. That's enough for 2 people right there. Go on to our second one. And like I said, we've already washed the skin on the outside. You rinse it off once you peel it. And just chop them up. If you want to do a different shape, you can do that too. Look at that. Just like that. Not hard. And if you find that the bigger sweet potatoes scare you and it's just too big and stuff to cut, find the smaller ones. Find the smaller ones. Oh, and another tip I have for sweet potatoes, yams, whatever you want to call them, don't boil them. Do not boil them. The boiling them, I feel like it takes away some of the nutrients of it. It takes away some of the flavor. This is the part I was telling y'all be careful with. We just gonna cut that one because I don't trust it. And we'll just throw that one to the bottom, pretend like I ain't do it that way. But I'm not about to cut myself. That's not happening. So to this, we're gonna go ahead. I told y'all I'm trying to measure for y'all today. So we're gonna go in with a 1/4 cup of white sugar. That much, 1/4 cup. And we're gonna go in also with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Make sure that it's packed really well into here. And this is actually a mixture of dark brown sugar and light brown sugar. Okay? And then to that, we're gonna eyeball the cinnamon. I'm gonna say probably 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. That looks about right. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And we're also gonna go in with nutmeg. Nutmeg with sweet potatoes is, listen, ultimate combination. About 1 teaspoon as well. And then we're gonna eyeball some pure vanilla. Or maybe we'll do a capful. That should be good. And to that, we're also gonna go in with 1/4 cup of water. And what the water does is it creates this nice juice at the bottom. The same kind of juice that would create if you was to add in that stick of butter. And it's gonna just make everything cohesive or come together nicely. So, again, I'm hands on. Just mix it up, mix it up. Mix it up real good. Kind of want to get everything coated. And a lot of people like to put a lot more sugar, but sweet potatoes, when they're baked, it releases this natural sweetness. So you really don't have to add as much sugar as you would versus if you boil them. When you boil them, again, it takes away that natural flavor and it takes away that natural sugar that it produces. Just in my opinion, based off of when I've baked a sweet potato versus when I boiled it. And I really do prefer it this way. So I have my baking dish. I'm just gonna take it and just pour that in there. And at the bottom, there's like this beautiful brown, sugary sauce that it creates. And then this is really the start to a really good yam. See? And then what you can do here, if you feel like, oh my God, it doesn't have enough sweetness for me, it doesn't have enough cinnamon, it doesn't have enough sugar, go in with a little bit of cinnamon sugar. Real easy to make, honestly, truly. Just put a little bit on top. Look at that. Put a little bit on top. At this step, you can go in and you can add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter right on top. That's really up to you. You can do it. I just do not do it anymore because it tastes the same to me. Cute little baking dish. Put it in there. This is enough for 2 to 4 people. Just 2 sweet potatoes. It depends on how you chop it up. So you take that and you put it out the way. We're gonna go ahead and grab some foil for that as well. Wrap it up. Put it to the side until you're ready to bake it. Y'all see I got a new little station back here, so after I put in my new station until we're ready to cook that. So now, take that bowl that we had, we're just gonna rinse it out because it only has some sugar, just a little sugar and water honestly in there. We're gonna use the same bowl for our homemade cornbread recipe. So good, y'all. So, y'all saw me have my cookbook out that I told y'all I am developing. So we whipped that out because one of my recipes for cornbread is in there. So, bear with me while I open my book. And these are all my original recipes. Okay. We talked before about me putting my flour and brown sugar on the counter. Because I use it so often, it doesn't make sense for me to keep it in my pantry. So we're going in our bowl with 1 cup of flour, all-purpose. To that, we're going in with a cup of cornmeal, so equal parts, 1 and 1. And to that, we're going in with 3/4 cup of sugar. That's the most important part. Because nobody want no cornbread that don't have a little sweetness to it. So, you know, I done grabbed the wrong cup. My bad. Here you go. Listen, cooking ain't quiet, and then sometimes with cooking you make a little mistake, but it's okay. It's forgiving. 3/4 cups of sugar. And then we're gonna go in with a teaspoon of salt. And notice that I'm doing my dry ingredients first. And we're gonna go with 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So I had to learn a lesson with baking powder. If you're getting the cheaper brand baking powder, on the back of it, it tells you that it has some type of aluminum in it. So I baked some treats a while ago and I'm like, why does it taste, it tasted funny. And I did some research and it says that you should be buying baking powder that does not contain aluminum in it. And I'm like, yo, I didn't even know that baking powder had aluminum in it. And if it does have aluminum in it, why is there aluminum in baking powder? I just thought that was so weird. I don't know where they got the idea of doing that from, but whatever. So 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, 3. This is 1/2 teaspoon. 3.5. I'm gonna take our whisk and just kind of mix that up. Incorporate all the dry ingredients. I don't want any clumps or anything. You would hate to bite into a piece of cornbread and all you tasted was salt and baking powder. That doesn't sound good at all. To that, we're gonna add 1 large room temperature egg. We're gonna add in 1/2 cup of buttermilk. I like to keep buttermilk in my house now because I do a lot of red velvet cakes. And I've been doing a lot of experimenting with biscuits, so I really do like to keep buttermilk in the house at this point. And to that 1/2 cup of buttermilk, I'm also going in with 1/2 cup of regular milk. I'm using 2% today. Let's go ahead and mix that again. Mix it until everything is just incorporated. Shouldn't really see any more white clumps of sugar, of flour, baking powder, any of that. And the last thing that we're going to add to this is 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. You can use canola. It's really up to you. I don't really recommend olive, but vegetable oil does the trick. And this is what creates that tender, moist, fluffy cornbread. And y'all, it's better than Jiffy. It's better than Jiffy. Did y'all know that in original Jiffy, there's lard in it? That's why you started seeing the vegetarian cornbread on the shelves for Jiffy. People didn't question that. But I'm like, well, why is there vegetarian cornbread if cornbread is vegetarian? Right. And so I looked in the back of Jiffy and it said powdered lard, or somewhere where the lard is in powdered form. It's in there. This cornbread has everything normally that you have in your household in it. So simple. It tastes so good. And it's better than Jiffy. And look at that. That's cornbread. That's a simple cornbread. Again, same recipe you can use for Thanksgiving. You can use this to make your dressing. You can use this to make corn muffins. But so delicious, so simple, so easy. And we also will put that to the side for later on to bake. That smells so good. Okay, y'all, so the last time we spoke, I was in the kitchen doing my Sunday dinner / pre-Thanksgiving prep to show y'all just a few tips and tricks. So right now I'm gonna show y'all how to do some flavorful rice. So far I have the baked chicken in the oven, I have the yams in the oven, and I got the cornbread going. I let the chicken cook on about 375 for about an hour and a half. I had the yams going for almost an hour at 350. I bumped the temperature up to 375 and went ahead and put the cornbread in. So that'll be done in about 20 minutes or so that we can see the final product. But for now, I'm gonna show y'all how to do some flavorful rice. Normally when people make rice, you know, it's very simple. Rice, water, salt, butter, little oil. We're gonna do something a little bit different today to give you a different take and show you that you actually don't have to add salt to the rice for it to be flavorful, or salt directly into the pot for it to be flavorful. So right now I have taken about 1.5 cups of rice, and what I'm doing right now is rinsing the rice to get some of that starch up off of it. It is a Caribbean technique, I believe, for people to wash their rice just to get rid of that filmy residue. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the water. It looks a little murky, so that means that the rice is not fully washed. So when you wash it, the water actually will run clear. So that's what I'm doing right now. If you hear some water, I tell y'all every week, Cookin Ain't Quiet, you're gonna hear something in this house. Wash it real good. Wash, wash, wash. And as I'm doing it, the water is definitely running clear. Good sign. And you can do this through a fine strainer or colander or something that won't make the rice fall through when you rinse it off. And take off as much water as you can without sacrificing the grains of rice. So in a pot, take the rice. And I know some people like to boil their water first. I don't boil my water first. I've never done it, I don't like it. Well, I'm not gonna say never. I've done it and I don't really see why I need to boil it first, so I don't. To our rice, our cleaned rice. Gonna go ahead and turn the eye up to about 6. Medium heat if you don't have numbers on your eye. And we're gonna add some reduced sodium chicken broth. 2 cups. And I know y'all see my vegan butter up here. It's like my kitchen savior at this point. We're gonna add that too. And as our oil component, we're gonna go ahead and add in the vegan butter. 1 of these spoons. More than enough. Now a trick that I like to do, also learned this as well, take you a piece of foil and put it on the pot. Then put your lid on top. And it makes the rice really fluffy and it steams well. Just like this. Can y'all see that? Just like this. And just let it steam. And once you hear a boil, then we're gonna go ahead and reduce the temperature so that the rice can cook nicely. We'll leave our butter out because we're gonna need it for our cornbread. So let's move on over here to our collard greens. Now, I told y'all about the collard greens this morning, but I didn't show y'all how I did them. So I can pretty much walk y'all through because we got some time to spare since we got food cooking. But for the collard greens, I take some smoked meat. We don't eat a lot of pork in our house or in my family, period. So I usually do some type of smoked turkey neck, smoked turkey wing. It could be a smoked turkey leg, smoked turkey something. I haven't done smoked chicken in a while, but I have done smoked chicken in my greens as well. And I let that go for about almost an hour and a half. You really want to get that meaty, smoky flavor in the water before you add in your seasoning and your greens. And to that, I like to go ahead and add in some chicken bouillon seasoning. I like to add in seasoning salt, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper. Did I miss anything? Some complete seasoning. And I let that go and I boil that down for an additional 30 minutes before I add in my greens. Then I'll add in my greens and let the greens cook down for about 30 minutes or so before I add in my vinegar and I add in my crushed red pepper. And then I just let that go simmer on low for probably an additional hour or so. Let the flavors and everything, you know, come together. So I'm gonna bring the pot over so y'all can see how the greens look. And it look like that. They look like that. You'll be able to see the meat that we let fall off the bone or we took off the bone. You see the juices. And this, again, this is enough greens for 2 to 4 people. There ain't that many of us in our house. There's no point of us making a big old pot full of greens. But let's taste those. I don't want to use the big spoon. We don't use a fork. Just make sure that they seasoned enough. They got enough spice to them. I know some people put sugar in their greens. I'm not a sugar in my greens type of girl. Some people like to mix it with some turnips, so they mix it with cabbage. I'm not against that. They like to mix it with mustard greens. I like them too. Ooh, let's see. And look, the greens should be tender. See the smoke? Nice and tender. Oh, a little hot sauce. I love. They really do. Oh, them so good. But honestly, I'm gonna add a little bit more crushed red pepper for my liking. It's a little bit more. A couple shakes. Cause you put too many, it get hot. So remember I told y'all when that pot start boiling, we're gonna turn it down some. So now it has started to boil and I'm gonna reduce the temperature to about 3. And we'll let the greens continue to simmer on low. Let's check on our rice. You just wanna make sure nothing ain't sticking. It's boiling good. Boiling real good. Let's check on our chicken, yams, and our cornbread. Ooh, y'all, it's looking good. It's looking real good. So good. Now, normally when you're making rice takes about 20 minutes or so. I won't store it to you all. I normally use a rice cooker. I like to. But for the sake of showing y'all how to do things on the stove, if you don't have a rice cooker, this is a good way to get some flavor into the rice. You have a little bit of that chicken flavor, which will go well with the baked chicken that we have that also created some good chicken juice. And earlier I told y'all you can add whatever you want to your baked chicken. So you can add some cut up potatoes, you can add some fresh rosemary or some thyme, you can add peppers and onions. Today I added in some sliced sweet onions. Now y'all be careful, because onions is on recall in a lot of states right now for salmonella. Now y'all went to the grocery store this weekend and I love me some onions, but I could not bring myself to buy none because first of all, was wild onions still available if there's a recall on them? Y'all need to put signs up letting people know that these are safe onions, because no. So I already had onions in the house before the whole recall thing came out, so I felt comfortable cooking with those. But as far as buying new onions right now, it's gonna be a no for me until I get that all clear, that no more salmonella filled onions. All right, so the last I checked a couple seconds ago, the cornbread was getting real brown. Now what we're gonna do is just take your finger, your index finger, and just touch it. Just touch it. Okay. And if it jiggle a little bit, that means they done. So it's still jiggling, so the cornbread probably need about a good 10 more minutes to go. So by the time the rice is done cooking, everything should be done at the same time. Give it a stir again. I know a lot of people say, don't touch your rice while it's cooking. Don't touch it. I like to touch my rice because I don't want nothing sticking. Nothing worse than rice that's stuck to the bottom or rice that's sticking, because once it starts sticking, it's over. It really is. So the water is actually starting to evaporate. It's a good thing. Smells good. Smells like hot chicken butter. Does that even sound good? Hot chicken butter? I don't know, but that's what it smells like. And that's the smell we're gonna go with. I'll see you guys back here in 10 minutes. Hey y'all, okay. So we're finishing up with our dinner. The white rice is cooking nicely. It's starting to stick. But this stick is in a good way because that means I know that the water is evaporating. What I will say is that the difference between parboiled rice and long grain rice, parboiled rice cook real fast. So if literally you have your rice done within 15 to 16 minutes. I just took our chicken out the oven. It looks so good. I baked it covered for an hour and a half, and I baked it uncovered for about an hour or so, just to get the chicken a little crispy at the top. Getting ready to take out our buttermilk cornbread. Listen, better than Jiffy. I don't care. Better than Jiffy, and it ain't got no hydrogenated lard in it. So because our rice is starting to stick, so to speak, or the water is starting to evaporate, we're gonna turn the rice off and let it continue to steam until we're ready to serve it for dinner. Ooh, it's fucking hot. Look at the cornbread. Look at the cornbread. Look at it. Homemade cornbread. Better than Jiffy. Sizzling, and you know what's gonna go on it. Take us a little knife. We went shopping today and got some new cutlery, so I'm really excited about that. And just take the butter. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's sizzling on there. My God. My God, my God. Ooh. It don't even stick to the pan. You can like literally run your knife around it. And if you want to flip it over, you can. I don't really recommend it, but delicious. Y'all gonna see when we cut into it. So let's move this over so I can show y'all our yams that don't got no butter in it. And technically you could use your plant butter. Technically. It smells so good and cinnamony. Let's see. Ooh. Come on. That looks so good. So good. I'm about to show y'all. Give me a second. But you see how the brown sugar like caramelized and it made like that sweet syrup? Wow. Again, all the ingredients will be posted in the description. If you need to watch it a couple times, take notes for the steps, do that, because this is worth it. Especially Thanksgiving, what, about a month away? You're a month out. Tell your family that Chef Don T taught you something. See that? Remember that juice we talked about earlier? With the brown sugar, the white sugar, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the pure vanilla extract. Wow. Now, let's check on our rice. Make sure that's good before we start fixing these plates. Ooh, look at that. What I told you. 16 minutes. Look at that. Done. Cooked. All right. The moment we all been waiting on. Now last week I fixed that big old plate and ate off of it, and that plate was not mine. So let me make a plate that I'm more likely to finish. Take a little bit of the rice, put that on the plate. That's good, that's all I need. If I want some more, I'll go back later and get it. But for now, I won't be greedy on camera. Move that out the way. Next, we're gonna go in with our big chicken. Remember, these are the organic legs. So I'm gonna take just one piece for now. See that? We're gonna take some of this little onion gravy that I made, put that right on top. I'm gonna take a spoon with slots in it. Get us some of these greens. Oof, my God. Put some of this green with the smoked turkey on my plate. The crushed red peppers. I may or may not add me a little hot sauce. We'll see how I'm feeling. It's gonna be a juicy plate, y'all. These yams hot. But I feel like it ain't no Sunday dinner without yams. It's really not. Oh yeah, that look good. And last but not least is that hot buttermilk cornbread. Ooh. So I gotta take a mix out because I ain't trying to burn my hand to show y'all cornbread now. Just don't get down like that. Let's see if we can take this out of here without breaking it. Ooh. 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 Come on. Look at that. Look at that. See that plate? See that plate? Y'all must have thought that I only know how to make pasta or something. Listen, look at that. That's baby Thanksgiving right there. Literally baby Thanksgiving. You can make this. All of it. Hold on, let me see. Because I've been waiting on this cornbread. Oh, it's so tender. Oh, yeah, tender.
Tender cornbread?
Tender love. Ooh. Feel hot. It's good. It's hot and good. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, that chicken literally just cut like butter. A little bit of that sweet onion that don't have no salmonella on it. Oh, oh, with the Don T seasoning. Wow, wow, wow. All right, enough of me. I'll see y'all next week.